on my daily vet round. You probably have seen a veterinary round before with Andra. So you probably know that every day when we come here, it's part of our daily routine to just print a list where we have all the animals. We do highlight, so we have first the location of the animal, their names, their weight, so basic information. And then we have a bit of a history, so why they came here, how old they were, all those things, all the problems, a whole list of all the problems they had since they were here. And then in a separated section, we have all the problems that they are actively having now. So what we do every morning is that we highlight all these problems, and then we go have a look at every single seal, and then whenever we have a chance, we talk also with the feeders, because of course they can give us much more information than us. And then based on that, we also have a list of the treatments they're having, and then we know which day their treatment is ending, and based on that, we decide how to update it, so if we extend it, if we stop it, and all these things. So usually my round starts in quarantine 7. Right now in quarantine 7 we have Johannes. He came here as a lungworm, and he had a very bad wound in one of the hind flippers. We saw with the x-rays that it was really infected, really bad, and in our experience we saw that usually in these cases the most efficient way for them to recover and to go back to the sea as quickly as possible and in the safest way is most of the times to amputate. So as soon as he was good enough, we just decided to put him under anesthesia and remove the finger that was causing the problem. As you can see, this has been a bit more than a week since his anesthesia and his surgery, and he's recovering very well. Of course, we are keeping a very good eye on the wound, on the surgery wound, because of course these animals, we cannot really put bandages on them, keep them super clean, so the risk of infection is higher. And also he's a self-eater, so he has to swim to go eat his fish. So we try to reintroduce the swims as quickly but as safely as possible. So yeah, keeping a very good eye on him. Right now I cannot really see the wound, so that's when it's very important for me to talk to the person that was in there with him, because they give me much better information than what I can see from here. And yeah, right now it's becoming a bit of a less busy season, so we don't have a lot of animals to check on. I usually have a look at the feeding list that we have here. They haven't gone to the big pools yet, but I always check if they leave any fish. If they leave fish, it can be an information, very important information that something is not going very well with them. But also if there's no fish left at all, it can also mean that one of the seals doesn't get enough fish because somebody's faster, so we have to keep that in mind. Okay, then we go through the visitor center, and then we go to quarantines 1 to 4. So here we have 2 seals in quarantine 2. You probably know them already. It's jackfruit and lychee. So they're recovering pretty well. Jackfruit seems to not be using the right front flipper. I already spoke to the nurse that was with him this morning. It has been like this for a couple of days. We're giving him anti-inflammatories. We see if he responds to that. If he doesn't, of course, the next step is to take an x-ray to make sure that there's no infections or nothing broken there. And then we have lychee. Lychee has been doing quite well. In the past couple of days, his breathing kind of worsened, so we gave him new medication for that. We of course did all the checkups necessary to make sure that he has no infection going on. So far, nothing seems to be pointing at a new infection. So we're just giving him a bit of breathing support medication, and hopefully he recovers. From what Rosanna told me, he was doing quite well this morning. It's true that if you look at them now, he looks a bit more quiet than the other one. The other one was lifting his hind flippers, doing what we call the banana. This one is a little bit more quiet. Oh well.
So the right one is lychee?
Yes, lychee, the one lifting the flippers. So maybe he's not doing so bad actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, the position, how they're lying, tells us a lot about how they're doing, but we only get a little glimpse of how they are. because of course we don't spend time with them as the nurses do. So yeah. Then we move on. Here we have quarantine 3. Yeah, quarantine 3 is where we have 2 new seals. We think that both of them are lungworm patients, so that they got infected with worms, so parasites that go to the lungs and then they cause infections, obstructions in the lungs. So we treat them for that, but on top of that, they also have other problems. You can see that one of them, I think the one at the back, maybe it's not very visible, he has quite a swollen face. I have seen him yesterday and his face does look much less swollen, but yeah, he's far away. Rosanna also did report that to her it looked much less swollen. Of course, we check how he's breathing, so we can see that his breathing is not the best, but it's not also horrible. We can see that he's very active, so that's also something that is always a good sign. Yeah, these 2 seals have been in rehabilitation before in other centers in Germany. So, of course, we see that they're much more used to humans compared to a seal that has never been in rehabilitation before. It's also the reason why the other one has a little number on his head. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's a way they had of marking them in his previous center, and then it falls off with the molting. So yeah, he still has it here. He looks a bit less active than the other one. He had a very, very swollen flipper, so probably he's in quite some pain. We added yesterday some extra painkillers for him. We drained he has an abscess on the flipper, so we drained it. We took x-rays to make sure that there's no infection, and of course there was no infection affecting the bone, but we have to repeat the x-rays to be 100% sure that with time it didn't cause any infection, because bone lesions and bone problems can take a while to appear. So we're keeping a very close eye on him. Yeah, his breathing is not so bad also. I would compare it very much to the other one, but yeah, we can see that he's overall much less active, squinting a bit the eyes, so could be that he's still in pain for his flipper. He just got the medication, so hopefully that will kick in soon. And here we have Chabashira. Chabashira is doing very well, as you can see. Unfortunately, his flippers still have some infections, so the reason why he's still in quarantine is that he had, as you probably know, a lot of wounds in all the flippers, basically. He recovered very well, but there is a bit of infection in quite some bones, both in the hind flipper and in the front flippers. The thing with him is a little bit more delicate, because in the front flipper, of course, there's only so much you can amputate. So our hope is to treat as much as possible with the antibiotic, take most of the infection away with the antibiotic, to hopefully reach a point where we can amputate what is left of the infection and hopefully release him. He's not completely out of danger yet, but we keep our fingers very crossed for him. But yeah, he's recovering well, so hopefully soon he can go through surgery. But yeah, other than that, he doesn't really show any signs of illness. We did notice that his breathing, his lungs don't sound completely clear, but it could also be some aftermath of also all the problems he had. So yeah. Okay, we keep going.
What is that now?
Here is the famous Hofbad. I think the cameras are, well, you don't really see it from here, but it's in that corner and over there. Yeah, it's part of our round to also come here, check that all the seals are alive, all the seals are doing fine. It's also a bit of an excuse to kind of enjoy the seals in Hofbad for us too. I really like this, it's my favorite part of the round, so sometimes I just have a look at them, and yeah. They are very entertaining, as you all know. And then yeah, these are still seals that were here as pups, so some of them do come to the windows themselves. Of course, we if they do come to the window, we have a look, but we try to not encourage them to come see us. Yeah, today probably not. I think there is one maybe there. No. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll come back later for a
Yes.
bit.
Yes, they're very, very fun to watch. Okay, here we have Vidu, that's another pool. So yeah, today they're doing a very deep cleaning of Bibu. We only have one seal left here actually, which is Plum. I don't know if you remember Plum. Plum was the seal that at some point was taken out of Halfbad because she was not doing so well. She had some neurological signs. So yeah, she recovered and she's here. Hopefully we can release her soon if she grows enough. Lately she has been a bit picky with the eating. You can see that there's quite some fish. Usually a hungry seal will eat all the fish straight away and she's taking her sweet time. But overall she's doing good, and if she grows well enough, could also be just boredom because she has been here a very long time. But yeah, hopefully if she grows well, then she can be released very soon in the upcoming week. And yeah, she's just here. She had a bit of diarrhea in the past days, so it's something that I have to keep an eye out for. But yeah, they just cleaned, so it's information that I have to ask to the nurses. But yeah, what I can see from here is that she's not eating very fast. That's the only information I can pick up. But yeah.
Okay.
And then we have one last seal to check on, which is E in fine patches. So we go have a look. So P is more or less the same as Plum. He had a bit of some health problems because of the virus, and now he still has some of the aftermath, let's say. So he has a bit of anemia, so low red blood cells. Most of the seals that had the virus have this. And then he's also being a bit picky with the eating. So hopefully if he grows well and if he starts eating faster and his blood values improve and all those things, and he stops with the occasional coughs and sneezes, then we can release him also very soon. Again, could also be just a little bit of boredom, so maybe that's why he's not eating as fast. And yeah, right now I don't see any fish, but I also don't think they have been here yet. So he ate overnight, but I think he's waiting for his fish.
Yeah, probably.
And yeah, that's it. That's all I have to show you. But yeah, that's what we do every morning. So now my next step is to go talk to the feeders that I haven't seen yet, so I have a more complete overview of what's going on. And then I will go sit down and then look at all the treatments that they have and see what I can do to add something to seals that are not completely fine, or where we see that the treatment is not really helping, or I will extend treatments that I see that are helping but are not done enough yet, or I will remove all the treatments that they don't need. Another step of this is also based on how they're eating, how they're doing, is that I decide, or we as a team decide how to change the feeding list, so the feeding schedule is something that we do manually every day, based on their condition of every day. And then of course, once we have the general overview, that's when we decide who can be released, who can be moved to the next phase, and all those things. So yeah, that's a bit of our morning routine, and that's our way of checking on all the seals. So nice that
Great.
you came along.
Thank you. I will go to Golfbad for a bit.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I will take you guys back to Golfbad for a bit because I think you will like to see them. Very curious. Hello. I'm gonna take you guys to Chabashira to have a look. Well, Chabashira seems quite active. Then let's go have one last look at Plum before I go. Plum is inside the water. I'm gonna stop this live stream now. Thank you all for watching and see you next time.